If you're here on the deep dive, you're probably the kind of person who likes to, well, get right to the point.
Definitely cut to the chase. Right.
Right. So let's jump into it. We're diving deep today into something that can have like a huge
It's
impact
huge. Yeah. Really huge.
on on how you're perceived, how confident you sound.
When you speak English.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly. 15 English phrases that confident speakers use. And these are phrases I wish I had known like way earlier
Oh, I hear you.
because it was when I was learning French. I could like put sentences together
The grammar, the
and I
vocabulary.
had the building blocks.
But it didn't sound quite right. It didn't flow.
It didn't sound confident.
Yeah, it's not just about, knowing the words. It's about like the way you use them. Those little
Yeah, it's like the secret sauce.
Exactly. It's that extra something that makes you sound, like a native speaker.
Right, like you really belong. And the thing is, it's often these small, like almost throwaway phrases.
That actually make the biggest difference.
And that's what we're diving into today, giving you that extra edge in English.
So you can, really nail those conversations and feel amazing doing it.
Let's start with I hear you.
Oh, such a good one. This is like essential, truly.
It's about acknowledging someone's point of view, right?
Yeah, but it goes beyond that. It shows you're really listening, you're engaged.
Even if you're about to disagree.
Exactly. The example we have is, I hear you, but maybe there's a better way to handle this without creating more tension.
That's a good one. You're not shutting them down, you're opening up a dialogue.
You're validating their feelings, but also offering like a different perspective.
And it's so much more constructive than just, flat out disagreeing.
Right. It keeps the conversation going, keeps it positive.
Okay, number 2. Let me tell you. This one just feels so powerful.
Oh, it is. It grabs your attention. Like,
Like whatever comes after this is important.
you better listen.
Haha. The example is, let me tell you, the tacos at that food truck are the best I've ever had.
See, so much more engaging than just the tacos are good.
It makes it personal, like you're sharing this amazing discovery.
Like you're letting them in on a secret.
It's that little extra oomph.
Exactly. It shows you're passionate, you're enthusiastic.
And people are drawn to that.
Mm.
Okay, our next phrase is something I'm sure everyone's heard. Fair enough.
Oh, this one's a classic. It's so useful in everyday conversations.
It's like acknowledging that someone's right, or at least their reasoning makes sense.
You're accepting their point of view, even if you don't necessarily agree.
Right. It's about understanding where they're coming from. We have this little story here. Imagine your partner, let's call him Dan, is just wiped out after a day with the kids.
Totally. Kids can be exhausting.
Oh, absolutely. And you suggest going out, for dinner or something.
Setting the scene, Friday night.
Right?
It's
Friday
true.
night, and Dan's just like, no way, I'm too tired. You could argue, but
But fair enough is the perfect response. It avoids conflict. It shows empathy.
it acknowledges their feelings without, getting into a debate.
It keeps the peace.
Mm.
And it keeps things moving smoothly.
So much better than a pointless argument. That makes sense is our next one.
This one's similar to fair enough, but it goes a bit deeper, I think.
Yeah. It's like you're not just accepting their point of view, you're actually understanding the logic behind it.
It shows you've processed their explanation and, you get it.
So going back to Dan, he's exhausted and he says, I literally have zero energy left.
Been there.
And you reply, that makes sense. You've had a long day.
And me too, probably.
Exactly. You're showing empathy. You're validating their experience.
You're on the same page.
Exactly. Which is
Yeah.
so important in any relationship. I appreciate that is next.
Showing gratitude. Such a powerful tool for building connections.
It can be easy to just say a quick thanks, but this is so much more meaningful.
It shows you really value what the other person has done.
The example is, imagine someone brought you food after you had a new baby.
Oh, pluck them.
Instead of just thanks, you say, I appreciate that you brought me food. I needed that so bad. Thank you.
That hits different, right?
Totally. It's specific. It's heartfelt.
It shows you recognize the effort they made
Hmm.
and the impact it had on you.
All right. Number 6 is a call to action. Let's get to it.
Love this one. It's all about taking charge, getting things done.
No more procrastination.
Yeah.
The example is, let's say you've been talking about painting your bathroom.
That orangey red color you were thinking about.
Yeah. And you finally decide, okay, enough talking. Let's get to it. We've been putting this off for weeks.
It's time. No more excuses.
It injects this energy into the situation.
Momentum. It shows you're decisive, you're ready to take action.
And it can be super motivating for everyone involved. Now, sometimes you need to disagree, and that's where I beg to differ comes in.
This one's a bit more formal, but it's still a really good way to express a different opinion.
And politely, right. It's not about starting an argument.
It's about respectfully presenting your perspective.
Yeah.
We have a story about this. Imagine everyone's kind of grumpy, and you suggest a family hike. Oh no, not another grumpy family hike.
But you know, being outside is good for everyone. And Dan's like, ugh, it's such a hassle getting the kids ready.
Yeah, packing the snacks, sunscreen,
Shoes, hats.
so much stuff.
And you say, I beg to differ. I think we need to be outside. The fresh air will do us good. That little bit of hard work will be worth it.
And it was worth it, right?
It was. The hike turned out to be amazing. So sometimes, you know, you got to stand your ground.
But respectfully.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think is up next?
A classic. This is how you get people involved, get their input.
You're showing that you value their opinion. The example is, what do you think about taking a trip to the beach this weekend?
Simple, straightforward, but it opens up a whole conversation.
It invites discussion. It shows you're not just making decisions on your own.
You're collaborating.
I couldn't agree more is next. This one's for when you're like totally on the same wavelength.
100%. This is the ultimate agreement phrase.
It's like you agree so much you can't even.
Haha, exactly. It's that emphatic. Imagine you're at a coffee shop with a friend, and they say, this coffee is amazing.
And you're like, I couldn't agree more. I love this place.
It's like you're both raving about the coffee together.
It creates this bond, this shared experience.
And it shows you're a good listener, that you're paying attention to what they're saying.
Okay, number 10. That's a great point.
This one is so good for acknowledging someone's contribution to a conversation.
It shows that you're listening, that you value their ideas.
It's super validating. Imagine we're back to the bathroom painting scenario.
Still haven't started painting.
Nope, still planning. And someone suggests, before you even think about colors, maybe we should fix those holes in the wall first.
Oh, yeah, good point.
Right. And you say, that's a great point. Let's do some research on how to do that.
You're not just dismissing their idea, you're taking it seriously.
You're showing you're open to suggestions. You're willing to collaborate.
No, I'll look into it is about taking ownership.
You're not just saying, yeah, maybe I'll do that.
Yeah.
You're making a commitment.
You're saying, I'm on it. For example, let's say there's this concert you want to go to.
Big concert, everyone's talking about it.
But the tickets are like crazy expensive. And your friend says, don't worry, I'll look into it, see if I can find some cheaper tickets.
That's a true friend right there.
Right. They're not guaranteeing anything, but they're willing to put in the effort.
They're showing initiative.
Which is so valuable. How can I help? This is just, it's so powerful.
It's about offering support, being there for someone.
It shows you care. We have this story about, I was filming some videos for work.
Lots of videos.
Lots and lots.
Yeah.
And Dan comes in and says, how can I help? What can I do to make this easier for you?
What a guy.
I know, right? He could have just, left me to it, but he wanted to be involved, to help out.
And I mean, in that kind of situation, when you're stressed, busy,
Overwhelmed.
that kind of offer is like a lifesaver.
Totally. It can make such a difference. I get where you're coming from is next.
This is all about empathy. You're putting yourself in their shoes.
You're trying to understand their perspective, even if you don't agree with it.
Imagine a friend is going through a tough time, like their boyfriend cheated on them.
Oh, that is awful.
It is. And they say, I can't trust anyone anymore.
And you say, I get where you're coming from. It's so hard to trust after something like that.
You're not judging them. You're not offering solutions. You're just acknowledging their pain.
You're validating their feelings. And it's important to remember that where you're coming from doesn't mean their physical location.
Right. It's about their perspective, their point of view. And you can actually use this phrase to transition into offering a different perspective.
Like, I get where you're coming from, but...
Exactly. It softens the blow, makes it less confrontational.
Yeah.
Like, I get where you're coming from, but I'm sure you'll find someone who deserves your trust someday.
Offering a bit of hope.
Yeah, a little light at the end of the tunnel. Okay, number 14. Let's talk about it later.
This one's about, setting boundaries in conversations.
Managing the flow.
Yes. It's about saying, hey, I want to talk about this, but now's not the right time.
Like when you're in a movie theater.
Oh, yeah. I had a friend in college who would always want to, analyze the movie during the movie.
Oh, no. The word.
I know. And I would have to be like, let's talk about it later. I want to actually see what happens.
You're not saying you don't want to talk. You're just postponing it to a more appropriate time.
And everyone can enjoy the movie. Okay, our final phrase is, keep me in the loop.
This is great for making sure you're kept informed about something.
It shows you're interested, you want to be involved.
Like, keep me in the loop if the plans change.
Or keep me in the loop about the project.
It's a nice way to stay updated without being too demanding.
It's confident but casual. So, there you have it. 15 phrases that can really boost your confidence in English conversations.
And these aren't just random phrases. They're carefully chosen to help you connect with people, express yourself clearly, and, well, just sound more confident.
They're like little tools you can use to navigate any conversation.
And as you start using them, you'll notice that it's not just about how you sound to others.
It's about how you feel about yourself, right?
Exactly. Your confidence will grow as you start using these phrases naturally.
So for our final thought today, think about which of these phrases resonates most with you.
Which one feels like it could make the biggest difference in your life right now?
And then try it out. See how it feels. See how people respond.
You might be surprised at the impact it has.
Thanks for joining us on the deep dive. Until next time.